Most people don't suffer from a lack of intelligence. They suffer from a lack of clarity. The mind becomes crowded with noise, expectations, fears, doubts, and opinions that don't belong to us. We think we're thinking, but really, we're drowning in thoughts we never chose. And nothing is more exhausting than a mind that cannot find silence. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, unable to focus, unable to make decisions, or trapped inside endless overthinking, you are not alone. The modern world attacks your clarity every day. Notifications, pressure, comparison, distractions, they all bury your inner voice under layers of mental chaos. But the ancient Stoics faced the same human struggle, and they discovered something powerful. Clear thinking is not a gift. It is a discipline. It is a method you practice, a way of guiding your mind back to simplicity, calm, and truth. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus all trained their minds to cut through confusion, filter what matters, and return to reason. In this video, you will learn the Stoic method for mental clarity, practical steps that will help you think with more calm, more structure, and more strength in your daily life. If you're ready to clear the mental fog and sharpen your focus, stay with me. Before we begin, tell me in one word what your mind needs today. Comment. Clarity. Lesson 1. Remove the noise. The Stoic art of mental filtering. Clear thinking begins with subtraction, not addition. Most people try to improve their mind by learning more, collecting more information, consuming more content. But the Stoics understood the opposite. The mind becomes clear when you remove what does not belong. A noisy mind cannot think. A scattered mind cannot see. A burdened mind cannot choose well. Marcus Aurelius wrote repeatedly about cutting away the unnecessary. He knew that most of our confusion comes not from reality, but from the mental clutter we allow inside. Opinions of others, imagined scenarios, meaningless worries, and the endless noise of the world. Modern psychology says the same. Cognitive overload destroys clarity. When you remove noise, everything sharpens. Your priorities become obvious. Your emotions become easier to manage. Your decisions become simpler and smarter. Start noticing what drains your mind. The conversations that don't matter, the opinions that don't apply to you, the fears that are not rooted in facts, the information that does not serve your growth. Let them go. Stop feeding your mind things that cloud it. Removing mental noise is not escape. It is freedom. The less unnecessary weight you carry in your mind, the more clearly you can see the truth in front of you. And clear thinking is the foundation of a strong, stable, and disciplined inner life. Lesson 2. Focus on what you can know, ignore what you can't. One of the biggest enemies of clear thinking is mental speculation. The mind fills the gaps with assumptions, fears, imagined outcomes, and invented stories. You think you are analyzing, but you are actually guessing. And guessing is the fastest way to confuse your judgment. The Stoics taught a simple rule. Focus only on what you can truly know. Ignore what you cannot. Epictetus warned that most suffering comes from opinions, not events. When you limit your attention to facts instead of fantasies, clarity appears instantly. Modern cognitive science agrees. Reducing uncertainty reduces anxiety, and focusing on verifiable information strengthens rational thinking. Ask yourself, what do I know for sure? What am I assuming? What am I inventing in my mind? Most of the time, the mind panics about possibilities that will never happen. When you stop feeding those imagined scenarios, your mental energy returns to the present moment, where your real power exists. Focusing on what you can know creates emotional stability. You think more clearly because you stop fighting shadows. You act more wisely because your decisions are based on reality, not fear. And you experience immediate relief because you no longer feel responsible for predicting the unpredictable. Clarity grows when you root your thoughts in truth, and wisdom begins the moment you refuse to be ruled by your imagination. Lesson 3. Slow down your mind through Stoic observation. A fast mind is rarely a clear mind. When thoughts rush without direction, they collide, amplify fear, create confusion, and distort reality. The Stoics understood that mental speed is not a strength, it is often a trap. Clarity begins when the mind slows down enough to observe without reacting. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily, stepping back, watching his thoughts rise, and separating himself from them. This simple act of observation creates space, and in that space, the mind regains control. Modern psychology calls this meta-awareness, the ability to notice your thoughts instead of being consumed by them. When you observe your mind, you begin to see patterns. You notice which thoughts fuel anxiety. You recognize which stories your mind invents. You realize how often your emotions exaggerate situations. Observation turns mental chaos into something you can understand, and therefore something you can master. Try this Stoic exercise. When a strong emotion appears, don't react. Don't judge. Simply watch. Ask yourself, what is my mind doing right now? This slows the emotional wave before it takes over. Your breathing deepens. Your thoughts soften. Your judgment sharpens. A calm observer sees more than a frantic thinker. The moment you slow your mind through observation, clarity returns, and the noise loses its power. Lesson 4. Separate facts from interpretations. Most mental confusion comes from mixing facts with interpretations. Something happens, a message, a silence, a change, and instantly the mind adds meaning. They don't care. I'm not good enough. Something is wrong. But these meanings are not facts, they are judgments, and judgments create suffering. The Stoics trained themselves to separate what happened from the story they told about it. Epictetus taught that events themselves are neutral. It is our opinions that disturb us. Modern cognitive behavioral therapy is built on the same idea. Thoughts are not reality. They are interpretations. When you learn to separate the two, your mind becomes clear instead of chaotic. Start with a simple practice. Identify the fact, the thing that actually happened. Then identify the interpretation, the meaning your mind added. Fact: they didn't reply. Interpretation: they don't like me. Fact: the plan changed. Interpretation: everything is falling apart. This distinction is powerful. It removes unnecessary emotional weight. It stops you from reacting to your imagination. It allows you to judge situations with reason instead of fear. When you separate facts from interpretations, you reclaim control over your mind. You stop exaggerating problems, stop creating false threats, and stop letting emotions distort your vision. Clarity grows, calm returns, and life becomes far easier to navigate. Lesson 5. Ask the Stoic question. Is this helping my judgment? Stoicism teaches that the quality of your life depends on the quality of your judgments, not your opinions, not your emotions, not your memories, but your judgments in the present moment. Whenever the mind becomes cloudy, anxious, or confused, there is one Stoic question that brings instant clarity. Is this helping my judgment? Marcus Aurelius used this principle constantly. He knew that many thoughts weaken the mind instead of strengthening it. Worries about the future, imaginary conversations, replaying old mistakes, comparing yourself to others. None of these sharpen your judgment. They drain it. Modern psychology agrees. Rumination and mental noise impair decision-making and increase stress. When a thought appears, examine it. Is it helping me see clearly? Is it helping me act wisely? Is it helping me stay calm and rational? If the answer is no, the thought has no value. Let it go. This question protects your mental energy. It filters out emotional impulses, useless fears, and exaggerated interpretations. It brings your mind back to what matters: truth, clarity, and reason. Clarity is not about having fewer thoughts. It's about having the right thoughts. And when every thought is measured against your judgment, the mind becomes sharp, steady, and unshakably clear. Lesson 6. Make space. Why silence creates clarity. A crowded mind cannot think clearly. Constant noise, constant stimulation, and constant input leave no room for real thought. The Stoics understood this long before the modern world magnified the problem. They knew that silence is not the absence of sound. It is the space where the mind resets itself. Seneca wrote that the mind needs time alone, away from distraction, to return to its natural strength. Marcus Aurelius escaped into brief moments of solitude even while ruling an empire. Modern neuroscience confirms this. Silence reduces stress, restores attention, and improves cognitive clarity. When you allow silence into your life, something shifts. Your thoughts slow down, your priorities realign, your emotions settle, your judgment sharpens. Silence is not emptiness, it is mental oxygen. Try this Stoic practice. Spend a few minutes each day without stimulation. No phone, no music, no scrolling, just breathing and noticing your thoughts. At first, you will feel restless. Then slowly, your mind begins to widen, like a room being cleaned after years of clutter. Clarity grows in the space you create. When you remove noise, what truly matters rises to the surface. Silence becomes a tool, a place where your best thinking finally appears. Lesson 7. Choose rational action over emotional impulse. Clear thinking means nothing if it does not lead to clear action. The Stoics believe that wisdom is proven not in what you know, but in what you choose to do. And the greatest choice you can make is to act from reason instead of emotion. Emotional impulses are fast, loud, and dramatic, but they rarely lead to outcomes you truly want. Rational action is slower, quieter, and intentional, and it shapes a life of strength and stability. Epictetus taught that we must keep our mind above the storm, because impulses rise like sudden waves, while reason stands like a lighthouse. Modern neuroscience confirms that emotional impulses come from the reactive part of the brain, but rational decisions come from the part that handles long-term thinking and self-control. When you feel the urge to react, pause. Ask yourself, what action aligns with my values? What choice leads to a better future? What response protects my peace? Choosing reason does not make you cold. It makes you strong. It allows you to act with clarity, even when emotions pull you in every direction. It prevents regret. It strengthens character. It turns chaos into order. Every time you choose rational action over emotional impulse, you reclaim your life. You stop being pulled by the moment and start being guided by your highest self. This is the essence of Stoic clarity, to act from intention, not reaction. In the end, clear thinking is not something you wait for, it's something you build. By removing the noise, focusing on what you can truly know, observing your mind, separating facts from interpretations, questioning every thought, creating silence, and choosing reason over impulse, you reclaim control over your inner world. The Stoics taught that clarity is freedom. And today, you've taken steps toward that freedom. Carry these practices into your daily life, one decision at a time. A calm mind is not a gift, it is a discipline. And with discipline, clarity becomes your natural state.